The Thuringian Agency for Skilled Personal Marketing presents this input on the topic job interview. One aspect of our work is to support people who are searching for a job, a vocational training, or an internship in Thuringia. In personal consultations and various events, we offer information and tips on job search and application. At our job fairs, academics and Comeback, potential skilled workers can get to know Thuringian employers. The TAF is funded by the Free State Thuringia. This input provides an overview of preparing for the job interview, the general process, as well as tips and advice for the conversation. The purpose of the job interview is getting to know each other. Does the company and the position suit me? And does the applicant fit to the company? What is assessed in the job interview? It's about 60% of personality, 25% motivation, and 15% competence. To prepare, you should research the company and engage with your findings. On the company website, you can find out about the history, mission, vision, products, and services. Also read the latest press releases and news about the company. You can find out what values and company culture the company has and whether you can identify with them, and if so, why. Also check employee reviews on sites like Kununu or Glassdoor. What do other employees say about the company? Do these reviews possibly raise questions for you? When preparing for a job interview, consider the following points. Resume. Are there any aspects of your resume that might require explanation? Job description analysis. Review the job posting carefully. Requirements. Note down the skills and experiences that are required for the position. Responsibilities. Understand the specific tasks involved in the role, what is expected of you, and identify where you've already performed similar duties in the past. Preparation for questions. Be ready for questions from both the employer and yourself. About the position. Ask about the expectations, challenges, and the team you will be working with. Salary research. Research the typical salary range for the position, using resources like Gehaltsvergleich.com or Kununu, so you can discuss it if asked. Generally, the larger the employer, the higher the salary might be. Practice. Consider practicing with friends and family or using online tools to become more confident with each attempt. Following are some example questions from the interviewer. What particularly attracted you to our job posting? What do you see as the greatest challenge for yourself in the position? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Here are some example questions you could ask. What long-term goals does the company pursue? What challenges can I expect in the first 90 days? How are employees supported? What would a typical workday look like? Good planning reduces stress and provides a sense of security. Plan your travel time generously to ensure you arrive punctually. A time buffer is recommended to help you arrive relaxed and not rushed. Your clothing should be appropriate for the position and industry. Well-groomed, showing respect for the situation, and most importantly, you should feel comfortable. Be punctual at the location. Call if you are running late. Show good manners by greeting everyone politely, for example the doorman or the receptionist. These people could be your new colleagues. It's best to wait to see how you are greeted, with or without a handshake. The job interview is divided into 4 phases. The entry phase begins with introductions and some small talk to create a relaxed atmosphere. Next, in the interview phase, specific questions about the candidate's application documents and the job's requirements are discussed. During the presentation phase, the company and the job task are introduced, and the candidate has the opportunity to ask questions. Finally, in the closing phase, topics like salary and the next steps in the process are covered. The conversation usually takes place with 2 to 3 people from the company, depending on the company's size. The responses should relate to the position being filled and be supported with examples, if you have the relevant experience, which you've already prepared for. Stress questions are designed to test how the applicant handles the question. Therefore, preparation is key, and practicing such an interview in advance can be helpful. Improper questions. You are not required to answer them. and you can lie without expecting any legal consequences. In extreme cases, the applicant could sue. However, inappropriate questions vary depending on the field. Examples of inappropriate questions: questions about the ethnic background, marital status, political views, or your health condition. Here are some responses to such questions. I don't think this conversation is relevant to my suitability for the position. I prefer to focus on my professional qualifications and experience. It is important to stay calm and professional when faced with inappropriate questions. Your goal should be to steer the conversation back to your qualifications and the position. By paying attention to the following psychological aspects, you can score points strategically. What else matters? Attentiveness, attractiveness, and similarity. These factors positively influence a decision in your favor. Attractiveness. You should appear well-groomed and also have a pleasant or appropriate demeanor. Demeanor is all about good manners and you should be confident but not overbearing. Similarity in the background, like for example about pets, the same university or hobbies, views, interests, or vacation destinations. Make sure to note down important questions beforehand that you would like answered after the conversation. If they haven't been addressed during the interview, now is the right time to ask them. If you don't have any further questions but don't want to seem uninterested, you can mention that your questions were sufficiently answered during the conversation. In the best case, the employer will provide an outlook on the next steps at the end. If no feedback is given, you are allowed to ask for it. Thank your interviewer for the time they invested in the conversation. For example, I would like to thank you, Mr. Mrs. for this pleasant conversation. This leaves a professional impression with a personal touch and ensures you are remembered positively.
Do you have questions about the job interview? More information, event notes, and consultation services can be found on our website.
Thanks for your attention.